Hello and welcome to another episode of the Time-Lapse Traveler. Today I'm here in BGC with my friend Arif, who's also an expat like me, except that both of us have very different stories to tell. And I'm here in BGC on Bonifacio High Street on this beautiful sunny day, except we're sitting in the shade, luckily. And we're just here to discuss basically what led us here, where we're from in our lives, and why we're here today talking in BGC. So Arif, would you like to tell something about yourself? Like what did you do before you moved to live in Southeast Asia?
First, I want to thank you, Dimitri, for inviting me for this interview.
Sure.
And really nice, and it's a beautiful city. BGC is a nice, walkable city, and resembles some of the things I've seen it before, but is very unique. So I was born in Pakistan originally, and then I moved around and went to Iran. I had a lot of migrations and went to America for my higher studies, and then worked there for 34 years as a civil engineer, construction manager, and I did all kinds of projects. And I was more in transportation business, so I was more like a construction manager. It all went well. At some point, I wanted to decide when I was going to retire, and I did decide to retire early 2023, which is this year, and then finally moved to Southeast Asia. I'm still in transition, moving around, traveling, trying to see where I can grow my roots or not grow my roots. Traveling. That brought me to Philippines also, because it's sort of culture that kind of resonates with my culture, Asian and much polite people here. That's what brought me here, and I'm still in transition. And I'll see what will happen in future. But I'm trying to settle down either in Thailand or in Philippines. And between these two countries, I think they have very good choices. Yes. As far as food and other things are concerned. So that's where I am in a nutshell. So go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that both Philippines and Thailand are really excellent countries for very similar reasons. So they definitely have a lot in common, I think. But right now you're staying in Thailand. How long have you been there so far?
I've been there right about 9 months, but in the middle I've been traveling to other countries, and Philippines is one of them. So I've been here a couple of times since then, and I really eye-opening. For me, the culture itself is very good. I would say if you want to compare the food, definitely Thailand kind of wins.
That's true. Yeah.
In a way, because there's a variety of food that they have there. But the Philippines is as good as Thailand in many ways. I think the culture definitely is much politer and much more accommodating here than Thailand. So we can go into comparison, but I don't want to offend anybody. Thai people are very nice too.
Both cultures definitely do seem to have a lot of commonalities, but I think you're right with what you said about the food. Although I do love the food here in the Philippines, I should not say anything bad about it, especially since I do have a food blog right now. By the way, check out the Timeless Food Travels. That's my other channel, all about food, but that's beside the point. I actually, the number one thing that's been drawing me towards wanting to visit Thailand myself is the food, because I hear so many awesome things about it. It has more of a kick to it, more of a spice of life, I guess you could say. And you being from Pakistan,
yeah, exactly. The spice thing, totally resonates, because Thai people do eat, just if you go and ask them to have food prepared for you, they will make it spicy without asking you. Yeah, so you got to be, default. So you got to ask them, hey, can you keep it a little bit on the medium side, and then bring all the little things, all the spices, then I can add them together, but don't just assume that I'll take very spicy food. But, yes, you're right. Pakistani food is very similar to Indian food. However, it's more of a barbecue side, and Indian food more on a saucy side. And also North Indian food versus South Indian food, there is a little difference.
Sure, yes.
North Indian food is more of meat and barbecues and a lot of meat. There's more Muslims over there.
Sure, yeah.
And then if you go to the southern part of India, there's more Hindus and all that. So they are a lot of them are vegetarian and vegans.
Sure, yeah.
So they don't eat meat. But here's one thing I'm going to tell you: they do overcook their vegetables. So sometimes it's better to keep them in the medium side. But anyway, I like both foods, and I am actually pretty international about food, and I can eat anything. So I'm trying, and that's been my journey. Food is definitely which brings people
important,
together.
yes.
It's very important, and so that's why we talk about it. And you have a channel for that, and I saw some of your channel. Awesome, beautiful photography and backdrops, and I really admire that. Someday maybe I'll be able to do the same.
Cool. I know actually another expat who lives here in BGC. His name is Jürgen, German expat, and he also has his own channel. I really hope that you can check out his channel sometime. Enjoy Life in the Philippines is his channel. So that'll be a link for that channel will be in the description as well. But actually, I wanted to ask you, before settling down between, choosing between Philippines and Thailand, were there any other countries that you were considering?
I was considering Malaysia because Malaysia is a moderate country. I would like to mention there's something called halal meat.
Yes.
And it's a little more different taste to it, and I'm more used to it. It's like a default in Malaysia because it's a Muslim country. But I think Malaysia is a very easy for expats, and there's a lot of opportunities business-wise and all, and it's a prosperous country actually. And I was thinking about Malaysia,
right.
Also. Eventually, kind of came on to to Thailand.
About how the popularity of the English language, did that play much into it?
So as I'm kind of exploring right now, I see that there is a little bit of a trouble with speaking English in Thailand. Not everybody is fluent, though where I'll be living, and most people do speak English, but in some areas you just have a harder time to communicate.
Okay.
However, in Philippines, obviously, whenever you talk to anybody, they know some English, or they'll guide you to the place where you can. But I had no problem communication-wise, and there's so many different type of people here. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. It's not difficult to be comfortable here in the Philippines, especially if you're living in a place like Metro Manila and BGC in particular. It's a really comfortable place to retire in if that's what you choose to do. That's why so many retirees from Europe and from America and from other parts of the world, they choose to retire here because there's so much amenities here, and the quality of life here is really good.
No, quality of life is the main issue in America, because you have money, you have the prestige, you have the honor, all that is there. And I think your core over there, or the base, is that your job is the main thing. But if you're not working, then you kind of like yearning for something which is more than that. And so when you're relaxed and you're retired, you want to meet other people, a similar interest, other expats, so you can share your ideas, share your passions, and because I'm a traveler, so most of the time I don't know why I attract a lot of travelers myself, so it helps me to kind of keep my passion going. And like you're a vlogger, you're a YouTuber, and that inspires me to do some of those too, and I'll be going into that partly myself later. But right now, again, I am traveling, and it is something that I always wanted to do, and the main reason for my retirement was I needed that kind of independence. I could travel before, but now that I'm fully independent in that way, I am more inclined to discover other countries. Right now I'm focusing on Southeast Asia, because there's plenty of countries in Southeast Asia with what my likings are, so that's why I'm here. What about you? Can you tell me what attracted you to Philippines in the first place?
I kind of fell into moving to the Philippines by default, you could say, because my wife is a Filipina, and so unfortunately she didn't give me that much of a choice. In fact, when we first met, and then eventually we started getting more serious while we were living in New York together, I was kind of under the easy assumption that we're probably going to just live our lives in New York, and that she was just going to stay there with me. But not so fast. She convinced me to move to the Philippines with her for many different reasons, but one of them is, of course, the fact that we actually did have an opportunity to have a really good quality of life here together, before the unfortunate thing that happened to her. Viewers of my channel probably know that she has developed a crippling, debilitating neurological condition. So to say that we have a high quality of life right now, I would be lying if I said that, but living here, we're as comfortable as we can be, basically. Also, the type of people that live here in the Philippines, and the fact that pretty much almost everybody speaks English, or at least comfortably enough to be able to, get around. The cost of living, of course, is a very big factor as well. The availability of having other parts of Southeast Asia and other cultures and other travel experiences and other opportunities to experience life in general.
Yeah.
Something that is so far removed from anything that I've ever been immersed to myself. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been to Asia only once before.
Yeah.
I visited India.
Yeah.
About, wow, time flies. I think 15 years ago, 16 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in India 16 years ago. Unbelievable. Opened my life to, you know, a wider perspective.
Yeah. So
About the world.
in my case, I started in Pakistan, of course, and my schooling was in Pakistan. But right after that, I came to U.S. But before that, we went to Iran actually for 7 years. My dad was a professor in the University of Tehran, and then my mom was also a professor in Iran. And so it's a long story, but we were there 8 years in Iran before revolution happened in Iran, and then we migrated to Iran to Pakistan.
Oh, you're showing your age a bit.
I know. Well, yeah. Just keep it secret, okay?
Sure, okay.
But
I won't tell anyone.
yeah, no, don't. But anyway, as you know, I'm retired, so obviously you can guess. So these migrations have been part of my life too, from from Pakistan to Iran to Pakistan, and back to America for many years. By the way, America is a wonderful country, and Dimitri, you've been there too. And I was in the West Coast. He's an East Coast guy. So how should I do this? Here's the West Coast.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then here's the East Coast. Okay. So anyway, but there's a little, football rivalry, all that stuff. But we're not. We are friends.
Of course. Yeah, you have your In and Out. I have my Shake Shack.
Of course. In and Out is the best. I'm sorry.
They're on par.
Shake Shack. Okay. So anyway, all that adventures and going, and then I traveled a lot after that to other countries and European countries and all that. But after 2000, my tendency was more to go to Southeast Asia, and I just started falling in love with the food and culture, and eventually I started planning to retire at a certain age, and then eventually come here or any other country. So that's my story. But speaking of America, it is a very beautiful country. It has a lot of opportunities. So don't compromise on your ambitions and desires and what your future plans are. Keep that on the forefront, on your frontal cortex, and then you will achieve that. But and that's where we are. Dimitri was kind enough to show me this BGC, and we're sitting in a very nice backdrop here, you can see. So that was my history in a nutshell, and what's going to happen in future, I guess I'll keep you guys informed about it also.
Yeah, well, hopefully this is going to be only the first of the chapters that we have about the stories that we're sharing about our move to this part of the world. Of course, I've been pretty consistent at telling my stories over the past several years, but Arif here has his own very interesting stories to tell, and it'll be pretty cool if you can actually start your own blog or vlog or something like that.
Hey,
you could actually capture an audience just in this style as well. A lot of people, they just put a camera in front of them and they tell interesting stories, show some interesting background visuals while they're telling their stories.
Yeah.
And you can make it into something unique.
And here's at the end, I was gonna tell you that yesterday I was here in the city also, and we walked around this beautiful Highland Avenue, isn't it?
Street.
High Street, sorry. High Street. It's amazing, the vegetation here, and it's all natural, but it sometimes looks fake to me. I'm like, oh, how could it be so good? But it's all natural, and there's a lot of high-end stores here, and you could see the calm here, and that's what I like. It's just calm and very, very clean. I'm really impressed. Where Dimitri lives in a very nice neighborhood. This is my last day actually in Manila before I go back to Thailand. I'm really thankful for his gracious time and making this video together. I'm sure we will make some more in future.
Yeah.
And the
maybe
next
we'll
time,
make a video on Thailand someday.
of course, you're most welcome to come to Thailand, and I'll show you around Bangkok. You've never been there, right?
Never
So
been there.
that would be an exciting thing for you. Food, places, and in general, it's very pretty. Some of the islands, but I think we'll start with Bangkok first.
Of course, yeah, definitely. I'm very interested in exploring that city because I've seen so much about it before. I know it has a lot of history and culture and really amazing, colorful people.
Yeah.
The food especially, that's something
Yeah.
that I'm super excited about.
Well, their religion is, most 90 I would say 95 to 98% people are Buddhists in Thailand,
Right.
and that's why their culture is slightly different from Filipino people.
Right, sure.
Filipinos are Catholics, but somehow they kind of, those religions don't make much difference in their culture so
Right.
much. Their culture is still similar. Respect for the elders and being polite with other people is the mere core thing that I notice about the Southeast Asian cultures. That's what impresses me the most, because I think everything starts with respect.
Sure, yes.
And of course, all the other things follow after that. I think the main thing is that I would invite everybody to come and visit Southeast Asia. You can start any country, but I'll tell you, I'm a little biased about Thailand.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Come to
why.
Thailand, you'll get a very good impression of the whole area, and then you can always diverge to other countries. Philippines definitely is number 2, and then of course Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore are the next. I think
Well, Malaysia is also, even though Malaysia is mostly a Muslim country, still their culture is also very similar to the Philippines. In fact, at one point, for a time, the Philippines was actually considering renaming itself to Malaysia.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Malaysia actually became called Malaysia at the end. Filipinos are considered Malay people also.
Yes, and there's a lot of resemblance between even Indonesian people from Indonesia and Malaysia, and some of the Filipinos. They resemble a lot because of their Malayan peoples, and they migrated throughout the centuries to this area. And Thailand, just to let you know, Thailand used to be Siam before. So if you see a king of Siam, if you hear the words King of Siam, that's because the older name of Thailand was Siam. Just a little bit tidbits here. So it's been, Thailand has finally came to this country named Thailand after a long centuries of transitioning into different names. Just to let you know.
So now actually let's talk about something else. Let's switch gears and talk about the cost of living. When you were considering which country to live in, Thailand or Philippines or maybe Malaysia or somewhere else, how much did that play into your calculation?
I sat down and made a budget for myself, and I've been doing that for a few years. So seeing the escalation of prices, a little bit of rise, but overall the prices in Thailand don't go so high, and most of the things are in the same range that I was thinking. It kind of helped me to say, well, I can easily live here.
Okay.
If I can easily live in Thailand, I can much more easily live in Philippines.
Sure.
So that was a test, because it was important for me to start being an expat and decide what my base country is. And then from there, I can upgrade myself a little bit more. I also sat down and divided all the things that I usually like to do, food and residence, and those are the more important things, because most of my money goes into the rent, and then of course food, and then other utilities and other things. But then I travel also. I also have to account for that. And maybe every 2 months I want to go to other country. I know it's a little bit far stretched out, but I try to do that so that I don't get bored. But I think eventually I will be settling down, so I'll be spending more time in Thailand and lesser time in other countries. But to your question, I think the price of living in Thailand, I think you can live within $2,000 and $2,500 dollars, US dollars, in a normal fashion. But if you want to be traveling, you need to be a little bit higher. Of course, the sky is the limit. If your expenses are into other things, entertainment, for example, is then traveling within even the country are very popular when you live. And if you're by yourself, you would like to be going around a little bit. So yeah, account for that. And once you know what your budget is, and you've seen within a couple of 3 months, what I've seen is that I fall within it, and I can still save some. You're scot-free, you don't have a problem. But you need to do that, especially when you start being an expat in a country. Be conservative and see where you fall, and if you're falling below your budget, you're good.
I'm just curious about some basic examples, like for example, if you were to travel within a city, like to commute within Bangkok by public transportation, or if you wanted to go to a cinema, or I don't know, go eat out
Sure.
to, get some street food or
Right.
go to like a standard run-of-the-mill restaurant without going too pricey? Like how
Yeah.
much would you pay for things like that?
Traveling within the city of Bangkok is very easy actually. Most people get afraid of the traffic and all that, but they have a very good transportation system, and the transit system is very well. The structure is very good, and it's all above ground or underground. Here, actually, I majored in a transit and transportation myself in the United States, so I know that that's the best way to do is to either make the transit underground or make it overhead, and that's exactly what Bangkok has done. The best thing to do is to buy a monthly pass for anything, even the metro system. If you buy the monthly pass, but if you're visiting for a couple of weeks, you can buy a weekly pass.
Oh,
that
good.
way you save a lot of money. You just don't even have to go and buy the ticket every day. So just remember that there's ways to save money, even if you're traveling and expat. I know you have more budget when you're traveling, but even then you need to know little tidbits where you can save. So traveling within the Bangkok city is better if you don't take taxis. If you can avoid taking taxis and motorcycles, or tuk-tuk, those are more expensive actually.
Really?
Oh yes, tuk-tuk is favorite expat and travelers because it looks kind of cute to be in that tricycle, exotic.
Yeah.
But they charge you, and they will charge you much more money for that, knowing that you're expat.
Yeah, because here it's actually the cheapest way to get around.
It is cheapest way to get around, and it differs from different countries to which one is. Some people will charge you more money for, the other ones are going to be just standard prices. But so that's about transportation. You can save money. Always buy monthly, weekly passes for the metro system, or they call it a sky train, which is a regular train which is above ground,
Okay.
and then that takes you to major spots in Bangkok. And food wise, the street food is wonderful in Thailand. And that street food is just a name that resonates everywhere in Thailand. You can go to a major mall over there, and usually the bottom basement floor, they have this all exotic food there, as little as $3.
Wow,
You'll be
okay.
surprised. You can have a full meal on $3 to $4.
Well, it's kind of similar to here.
Yes, it's similar to the Philippines. So that's food, clothing, and all that. It all is your personal, because if you want to wear real nice clothes and you want to wear Western type of fittings and all that, they are actually more expensive. And so I would recommend whenever you're coming to Southeast Asia or you're retiring, load up on your shorts and sneakers. Yeah, exactly. If you want to ever go back to United States or Europe or wherever you're from, you can just go ahead and write those. I usually write the list of things that I need, and I'll just go buy it. I know it's kind of counterproductive because you could be buying those things here too, because those brands are here, but they are much more expensive here because of the taxation laws and
Sure.
all the
Import duties.
Import
Really
duties,
Take
absolutely.
a big bite out of the price.
Yeah.
Or tack on to the price actually.
Yeah, so those are like transportation, food, clothing, and day-to-day eating is. Trust me, it's very low in both countries unless you are a 5-star person.
I see.
Yeah.
So how much is actually the public transportation pass?
200 baht will take you to maybe a weekly pass.
A week?
Yeah,
I thought
200 baht is about $6-7.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is,
That's a week.
if you buy
Unlimited travel.
see,
week.
yeah.
Okay, that's really good.
But if you buy them every day, it will cost you because
yeah.
every station is going to cost you more. So in a day, if you're taking 2 or 3 of those separately, so I would highly recommend to, when you go to Bangkok, right away buy a weekly or bi-weekly pass.
That's a very good tip.
Then you can eliminate the taxis and motorcycle rides.
I also heard that the public transportation system in Bangkok particularly is very well developed.
Well, I can't speak of Singapore and Malaysia. They are definitely bigger countries, or they are more advanced. But in Thailand, absolutely, their infrastructure is growing, and the streets are much better. So, traffic is still there. So, there's nothing you can do
Sure, of
about
course.
it. Yeah.
That's Asia for you.
Yeah, Asia.
But as far as the subways and underground rail systems are concerned, We're actually getting that here in Manila as well.
Oh yeah, I
Right
heard
now-
about it. Yeah,
right now
no.
there's a subway system that's being built.
Yeah,
It's going to connect
exactly.
the north and south parts
Yeah,
of
I
Manila.
heard that it was a consortium between Japan and China and all these countries helping to build here because they have their interest also. Business.
Japan is actually putting up a lot of infrastructure here. They already have done that a lot. They built some bridges. They built some rail
Wow.
systems here. In
Yeah.
fact, the rail cars that are used by the MRT and the LRT systems. I'm not sure both of them, but I definitely know that Japan has constructed some of the rail cars for Metro Manila Rail. Although the Bangkok public transportation system is clearly more advanced and connects the city better than what is currently up and running in Metro Manila, the system here is advancing at a very rapid pace, propelling this sprawling metropolis into a well-connected city that is gearing up to bring us into the future. While there are no unlimited pass options here, the cost per ride to take the relatively clean, safe, and mostly reliable buses or rapid transit system comes at a low cost of about 15 to 25 pesos, or roughly 25 to 45 cents US. The credit card-sized beep card can be refilled at any train station and some bus depots, then used to get to most parts within the city by a variety of interconnected types of public transportation.
Really good. Okay, so that's in a nutshell about the how expensive things could be. Again, it varies from person to person. For a single person, 3,000 is a lot of money in Bangkok even. But sky's the limit. You can splurge on high-end food or traveling to other countries, and you can 4,000 would be not enough. 2,500 to 3,000, you're good in Thailand as a single person. For families, we can have another conversation. Yeah, that's because I'm single. I can only project my experience.
Of course, that makes sense. Well, that's one thing that I would say that the Philippines has an advantage over Thailand is that the cost of living here in the Philippines is definitely a noticeable notch lower than in Thailand, because here even in Metro Manila, even like in a nice neighborhood like BGC, 3,000 is going to give you a really, really high quality of life, but it's not really necessary. For $2,000 US, you can have a really nice, decent one-bedroom apartment, and you'll have more than enough for transportation, for food, for entertainment, for enjoying yourself. And if you know how to save up a little bit, you can even travel around the Philippines. You can take, for example, Cebu Pacific and fly to another part of the country for less than $100 round trip. You can have an amazing vacation, stay at a beach resort somewhere in a lonely island where there's going to be not much going on except for coconut trees and a few locals that are going to be serving you mimosas. Philippines has a lower cost of living than Thailand, but it's a give and take. Some things are a little bit better, some things are a little bit worse. Of course, Philippines is more of an up-and-coming country, not quite as developed as Thailand, not as developed as Bangkok, but we're moving up in the same direction as well.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, because I'm still in a transition and thinking which country is best for me. Till now, I have found a lot of similarities between Thailand and Philippines, so I'm still confused about where to live. But between US, Thailand, and Philippines, and other countries, I think it keeps it interesting for me to travel for now. And I always say, I'm not a tree, so I don't grow roots like trees. Trees stay at one place. So I move around. So I'm different.
That's great.
And that's what my thing is. And eventually, one place will be more than other place, and I'll be staying more in Thailand or Philippines more.
That's pretty awesome, Arif. You're able to really enjoy your life and live life to its fullest. Basically, I feel that if you have the opportunity to really explore the world, and that's how you live a full life. Because if you just stay in one place, you're limiting your life experience.
And also, I think it's good to know your countries, whatever country you're going to be in, a little bit about their history and geography, because you appreciate it better. Plus, when you sit down with people, you can kind of relate with them, and they kind of also appreciate that you are interested in their country. So it's a two-way street.
Sure.
You can't just go in place and say, yeah, I like that place, I love this, and I love that, but not integrate with the people and families here. That's part of the whole experience. And then you start enjoying it once you integrate yourself. For example, just the heat itself. It's pretty hot in both countries, Thailand and Philippines. But you need to kind of go and sit in the heat, and you will see that you'll sweat, and then you will feel better when you go to in the shadow. And after a while, you adapt.
Sure.
And not only adapt, you start appreciating that, you know what, I don't want to be in cold. I think what it is that when people talk about things or they have experiences one time or two times and they came back, I call those people 2-week millionaires, where they go to the country for 2 weeks and with the baseball cap on or whatever, and then just kind of hang out and a few places and come back. But to live in the Southeast Asia or any other country, you need to come here again and again, and you really need to like that, and then you need to like most of the things. You need to also ignore certain things because not everything is perfect, and if you base your decision on one or two experiences that you didn't like, then you will never be happy anywhere. So that's my advice to people, that you need to learn how to ignore certain negative points, but overall, if your experience is positive, you need to go ahead with that plan.
Both of us really agree that if the positives greatly outweigh whatever negatives may be there,
Yes.
that's more than worth it, because of course nothing is ever going to be perfect. You're never going to be perfectly happy in every facet of life in absolutely every single way possible. That's not a thing. Life doesn't work like that. But if you see that overall the positives outweigh the negatives, then that's what you focus on, and always have an open mind, and basically take life as it comes at you while also making your own path at the same time. And that's the way that you're going to be just generally more happy in life, as much as you can make it.
Yeah. So in the end, I want to say that I don't want to make a very stark comparison between the Thailand and Philippines, because they're very similar countries. They have good and bad, and there are certain things you need to adjust to. You will experience yourself, but what we have just discussed today was just for you to know the details of certain things that you will be experiencing when you come here. Good luck and enjoy your time here.
Well, I guess that just pretty much about does it. So yeah, Arif, thank you very much for this awesome interview.
No problem, sir. Thank you, Dimitri. It was great to meet you again too.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
We both had a chance to discuss, our life experiences being expats in the other part of the world. Well, him not as far, but he did have a big part of his life spent in the United States.
Good luck to you all, guys. See you here again. I really appreciate you're watching this video, and I really think that you will enjoy it and you will have a great experience in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, absolutely. So with this, I'm going to close out this video. So if you enjoyed it, please do hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Always take care of yourselves and each other. And of course, keep looking out for more fun and exciting videos coming at you from the Time-Lapse Traveler.
Ciao. Take care.